We have a Chris Jones update, as apparently there has been more communication between the Chiefs and Jones in the past couple days. We'll have that and more on today's Chiefs Report. Welcome in, Chiefs Kingdom. My name is Jace Andrews, and before we get to the Chris Jones news, I want you to subscribe to the Chiefs Report. We got everything going on with the Chris Jones situation, and what happens, what doesn't happen, we'll have it all right here on the Chiefs Report, so make sure you're subscribed so you never miss an update on Chris Jones and the Chiefs. All right, let's dive right into it. Yesterday, Brett Veach, the GM of the Chiefs, spoke on the Chris Jones situation, everything that happened there. He had this to say, quote, "Certainly hopeful for that," said Veach. "We have been in communication, actually. Just the last 2 days, we've been in more communication. We're going to continue to press on and work hard. And there's a lot of respect on both sides of this thing." It's been well stated about how we feel about Chris, and he feels the same way. Again, we're just going to keep working on this thing, and we're looking forward to next Thursday, and hopefully he's in the lineup ready to go. The thing I take away, it's positive, but I'm not going to get too excited just yet because we've had talks before that there has been more communication between Jones and the Chiefs. So although the best interior defensive lineman last year looks to be in better shape to become a Chief, I'm not going to get my hopes up just yet because obviously he's the Chiefs GM. Brett Veach is going to do everything possible to make it seem like Jones is going to be on the field, and I want him on the field. I like to believe that the more communication is true, but to what extent that means, he never said it's positive communication. He just said they've been talking more. We've seen Jones and his agent be in Kansas City the past couple days, so hopefully there's something going on positive, but again, I can't really say for sure what exactly is happening. I want to know from you, though, do you think Chris Jones will be on the roster before Week 8? We saw earlier in this whole situation that he said he was willing to sit out till Week 8. So I want you to get in the comments, type Y for yes or type N for no. Y for yes if you think he will be on the Chiefs roster before Week 8, or N for no if you think he will not. And if it's an N, let me know what you think is going to be the end to all this. What's going to happen? Is he going to get traded? Let me know what you think in the comments below. All right, past the Chris Jones situation, we had some more news yesterday. We broke down a majority of the practice squad players, but yesterday the Chiefs filled out all 16 spots. Let's go through every single one of them real quick right now. The first guy on there, Ekow Boye-Doe, the rookie out of Kansas State. I really was excited to see him on the practice squad, so I'm happy he made it. Deon Bush, as stated yesterday, Matt Bushman, and Cole Christiansen as well. Behind those three, we're going to have Matt Dickerson, Truman Jones, Darian Kinnard, and Chris Oladokun. Oladokun, the only QB on the practice squad, notably Boucher, not there. Past them, we have a bunch of, I'd say, skill positions here with Perine, Cornell Powell, and Deneric Prince. And then Austin Reiter, the backup center, as just get some depth on that offensive line. Shelton behind them with Reese Taylor, Chris Williams, and Jason Godric all on the practice squad as well, which rounds out the 16 players that are still currently Chiefs. All right, if you're pumped for the Chiefs to play in a week, like the video. We are now officially a week away from the Chiefs' opening game against the Lions as they open the 2023 NFL season. Like the video if you're excited for that. I know I am. I'm super pumped. Can't wait to have the watch party. Can't wait to be really the 2020 NFL football season to be here. All right, we mentioned the 16 players. Let's go through some takeaways from this. The first one, Clyde EdwardsHelaire is not safe by any stretch of the imagination. He is still on the hot seat because of those two running backs kept on the practice squad. The depth chart, he is RB3. You have Pacheco at the 1, McKinnon at 2, and then CEH at 3. But the fact that Perine and Deneric Prince were both kept on the practice squad, I don't think that's a good sign for Clyde EdwardsHelaire because at any point in time, you can bring one of those guys up, put them on the active roster, and, well, CEH, you're out the door. So I don't know what exactly is going to be the end to this. Personally, I don't know what you're going to get in a trade for him at this point. It's a guy who has been honestly a bust of a first-round pick, and now it's, what do you do with him? Do you cut him? Do you see what you can do with him this year? Mahomes likes him around, so I wouldn't be surprised if that maybe keeps him on the roster for maybe a little bit longer than he probably should have, but we'll just kind of have to wait and see what happens with Clyde EdwardsHelaire. The second takeaway, Gabbert did more than just win the QB2 spot. He knocked Boucher out of the entire roster. If you look at Shane's stat in the preseason, they weren't necessarily bad, but they weren't good. 3 interceptions, especially that last game against the Browns. Yikes, that was not great. And it's tough because he got picked off by a former Chief. So I think Thornhill really owes Boucher an apology. But overall, it's obvious that Gabbert proved himself to the Chiefs and said, hey, you don't need anybody else. You don't need anybody. I've got this. I'm in control. And if Patrick gets hurt, no worries. I know what I'm doing. I've been a backup for Tom Brady. I know this system like the back of my hand. I have experience. I'm a vet. Let me take it. And Brett Veach said, all right, we're going to take your word. You're going to be back at number 2, and we're not going to have anybody behind you besides Chris Oladokun, which I think Oladokun has a high ceiling, but I was kind of surprised to see Shane Bushell not on that practice squad. Let's get to the third takeaway, and that is that the D-line depth was definitely a priority for the Chiefs, as on the practice squad, there was 4 defensive linemen: Matt Dickerson, Truman Jones, Danny Shelton, and Chris Williams. Obviously, we mentioned it earlier, the Chris Jones situation really playing a factor into all this, as you need to be able to have a bunch of guys in the back end ready to go and seeing if maybe you can push some of these guys up to, if an injury happens, you have some guys ready. Chris Jones, again, not signing yet, and it's obvious that they're not necessarily, let's just say, certain with their defensive line depth. And so they kept some guys who think, if the guys and the backups don't work, well, we can throw up Jones, Shelton, Williams, Dickerson. We can put them up there and see exactly how they could do in the situation, because overall, this defensive line without Chris Jones, it's not good. I like the trade for Neil Farrell Jr., add him to the squad, but overall, again, there's just not a lot of basically kind of guys that you're thinking are going to be Chris Jones level. All right, let's run through it one more time. Here's the 16 players on the practice squad. Again, Ekow Boye-Doe, I mentioned him earlier, a guy that I like out of Kansas State, young rookie, like to see him. Deon Bush and Matt Bushman. And then Cole Christiansen, he was the 10th edition. I kind of like having an extra linebacker in there. Behind them will go again Matt Dickerson, Truman Jones, Darian Kinnard, and Chris Oladokun. Oladokun, high ceiling, glad they kept him around. Interesting, again, that he was kept over Shane Bushell. The 3 guys here, Lamichael Perine, Cornell Powell, and Deneric Prince, all on the skill position side. Austin Reiter, the center, going to be a guy who's a depth position for the offensive line. And then the final 4, once again, Danny Shelton, Reese Taylor, Chris Williams, and Jason Chu-Godric. Those are your 16 players that are on the Chiefs practice squad. So those are the guys that at any point in time this season could easily be pulled up, put on the squad. Injuries happen, things happen, whatever. Well, guess what? If those things happen, make sure you are subscribed here to the Chiefs Report. We're going to have news, rumors, everything you need to know about the Chiefs and more right here on the Chiefs Report. So make sure you turn on the notifications so you're never missing a video and you get alerted when breaking news happens for the Chiefs. All right, one more thing before I let you all go. I want you to go help me out here. Today we have the Raiders host as he's getting a tattoo. A Raiders tattoo live on stream, and I need your help. I need you to go in the chat, and I want you to spam Chiefs Kingdom. Make sure that the Raiders know the Chiefs still own the AFC West, so go to the live show and say what's up, and then immediately go Chiefs Kingdom all the way. Flood the live chat with all Chiefs. And with that, we'll give you more information tomorrow.